So hi everybody and welcome back to the C++ tutorial series for absolute beginners. This is video 272 and in this video we continue with our exercise, and like all time you should read the question, pause the video and then try to answer as good as you can, and then start the video again and compare it with my answer, which is not all time perfect as well, but our goal is, like all time, to understand this site here and later the original paper, so you don't have to ask anyone if you want to understand it in detail. So let's get started. So we are here at number 5 and we said, it says here, what is this pointer in a class and what are the use cases? All right, try to answer this as good as you can. And of course I don't pause here the video and go straight to my answer. So here number 5, the this pointer is a special hidden pointer used in the class. All right, I hope you know this already. This pointer is created by the class, by the compiler all time in a class. It's hidden and it is tracking variables and all this kind of stuff. And the second question, what are the use cases? For example, resolved name ambiguity, overloading operators, code style and more. But to go a little bit more in detail, let's jump into this pointer here. You can read this a little bit more and you see it is implicitly created by the compiler. I skip here this example, so I go directly down to this example section, and here we go through fast. So you can see we have here a class, here we have a variable, we have a function, and here the first use of this is here it is explicitly created, which means the programmer points this out. And you have to know that this x and this x, if they look a little bit now different, are the same, because that's the point. This x, this x without the word this looks in real like that one here. All right, so far easy. This one is a const function, that's why we have here an error. Again, this x here looks like this, but the problem is we have here a const, which means if you try to change the variable here in a function, not allowed. Okay, that's also very easy, I hope so. And then we have here again a function with a parameter, and here again we have a big problem. You can see x is here used as a parameter, and we already have a parameter in our variable in our class. So we have a problem, and that is called a name problem. So how the hell know the compiler which to use? And you know it and you see it. They are using the this operator to distinguish between this x and this x. So if this is used, then you have to know that this pointer here is all time pointing to the class here. All right, so which means here it is t and then pointing to x. So tx would be this here, tx, and then here x, and then this x is then assigned to this x. All right, I hope this is also not too difficult. And let's go here. Let's see, we are declaring here a new variable, and then we have here, in this case, what is that here? I hope you see it instantly. Class name, the same. It's a constructor with parameter and initializer list, and again a second initializer here. And again we have here xx. So that is already interesting. When you see something like this one here, oh no, again it's the same name, and then you have to think, but again x is that what we want assign, and the x is coming from here. And here interesting is the second one. Here we have this x. What happens here with the y here? This x here is this one here again, because it is pointing all time to the class. All right, I hope this is also okay. And then here operator, and like I said in my answer, in operator overloading, you can see we have here an operator overloading. It is the assignment operator, and then it takes here again, like all time, this one is just a parameter, but here x, it is doing our assignment, okay, but return this here. And this one here, we have to talk a little bit more about this return this, but in the next question. So I hope this is not too difficult. What you have to know is like I said, that this pointer is it's referencing all time the class in which it is declared. So it's all time referencing this one here, and that's why this x like this one is all time this. Okay, I think we can go on. So, and here the next question is number 6. It says here what they mean with, and the meaning, you try to understand this. This pointer can make a method chaining. Important word here is this method chaining. And then here, do you know an example? Again, make a pause and try to answer it. And if you don't know what method chaining is, just try to search it in the web and try to understand it, and then yeah, then we will see. So method chaining is, in simple terms, let's see if I have here an answer. No, I have no answer. Method chaining means just you are calling methods after they returned their value. So let's write this: calling method again right after calling method again after returning value. This is a little bit bad description, but I will make in a moment an example, then you will see it here in the next question. But interesting is, do you know an example about this one? If you research this one, and I hope you know one, and the example which we all know, but we probably don't know that it is a method chaining, is our std cout hello. No, this is a method chaining. Let's write this one. So, not hello. This is using method chaining. So, and I hope everybody knows this line, right? This is our standard output, which we already use when we print something out. And then, of course, this one is a method chain, because what happens here is this is our operator, and that was our similar example here, not to this one. Where is this? Here, this operator, and this has a return this. This one is returning, and like I said, this one here is referencing the class here. So I can call right after it again. So this class here, std out, the operator is returning, print this one out and returning this one to this one here. And then you can call it again. That's why the operator is here, 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 and here called again. And that's make a method chaining. So you can call it again, directly after. This is the know what we know. And now the last question. Let's go here one more thing to number 7. It says here, write the class for, and here is a class provided. And this class I actually copied from Stack Overflow. And you can read this site here as well. I will link it in the description. Here is an answer. Here are different answers actually. But here, he's talking about method chaining here. Also here it says, doing this permits an item known as method chaining, where you perform several operations on an object in one line of code, such as, and here is that. And what I want now from you is, he's only providing here the call in, for example, in main. So this one is int main, in our main, it's calling it, and I want that you implement this class. A very simple class though, you don't have to make it very complicated, so because we want practical a little bit. And I want that you implement this one here. So pause the video, try to implement, so that when I call it here, outside, so I called it here, that you can call it. But you can see already I have changed this one here a little bit, but again, you should still try to implement first this one here, and if it's not working, you can do the same thing like me, which is changing here this input. So try it, And of course I will not pause here. I go to my answer and show it. So, but just try it. It's not too difficult if you understand method chaining. If it's too difficult, just watch before you watch my answer on the web and try to reconstruct from research and then try it. So I show you now my answer, which is also very simple. So you can see I make here this class student, here public variables, and I just declare this variable. So you can see this here. I need a int variable, I need here gender, and I used here a enum class, and then I used here a string. So very easy. You create a class student, because that was here the this one here, student. And then you make here the variable section here. And before this one, I need, of course, this enum class here. I created this on top. Enum class gender. I hope you know what still an enum is. And then we go here to the function. So you can see I skipped the constructor. I skipped all this because it's not needed for this example. It's very simple here, so very nice. So I use the default constructor here and I go to the functions directly, and here are the setters. And now here what you have to do to make a method chaining like they did here, and the method chaining here is it calls this method, then dot it, and then calls this method and then dot it. This dot here is more or less this method chaining, and then calls this method. All right. So, and we are trying, and you can see this, it is done with here. That's very important. The student reference. We make first the student reference, and then we set here normal our parameters. So this is normal parameter setting. This is first function name, the param, we get the input param. The param is set here to the edge. Then I put this just for fun out. And here, this is the second important part. So this one here and this one here is our method chaining. So return the pointer this, the dereference pointer this, and it will return this one here, and which means it goes back to this one student, and we can call it directly with a dot again. So it is calling this one. It is returning directly here to student, which means it is returning to this one here at this point, and I call it again with this dot. And again, here the same happens in the next function. Again, student, and you can see this one is all time repeating because this is just our method chaining, and the other parts here is just to set the variable. So here set gender, here's my enum class, enum gender. And then here just setting the gender in the class female, printing out, and then important for my chaining this one here, that I have a reference again to the same student, and then returning this one. So they must be the same type, of course, that is working. And the same goes here for the last one. Again, important this one, and then here again set class. Here the param is a string, and then set just a string assignment, and that's it. So, and when you run this, I hope you have that, then you should get something like this. Okay, I have here the output here, that was this stcout, so you can see it is working. That's nice, but the question is here, wait a minute, I asked you to do that what he did here, but I presented you another solution here. What is that? And actually you can probably use different solutions here, but the problem is I wanted to make this with a enum, right? And what was this enum problem here again? There are two types of enums actually now. We know the older enum, which is not using the class, and the newer enum, which is using the class, which is a little bit more safe. And if you want to make it so that you just pass here an enum without this gender, like they did here, like so, that was what I wanted that you do, then you have to change this one class away, because this one is not allowing that. You can see now I can just write male. I get just a warning that this one here, the warning is, you can read the enum type gender is unscoped, because there is this it's called this enum here. It's unscoped, the class is scoped, and it says here we should prefer enum class here. All right, but when you do this code here now, you can see now it works with exactly how they made it, right? So that was also a little bit repetition, but like they said here in this comment, and I think that's good thing, is we should use here class, enum class, it's the safer version, and then we have to write gender to specify this one. All right, I hope that was not too difficult. And that was it for this exercise, and we will see us in the next video. And like all time, if you have any questions, write in the comment section. See you in the next video. Bye, have fun, good luck, and never give up.